All right, 26 states that Jamal scored 62, 75, 76, and 90 on 4 tests. And it asks, what does he need to score on the fifth test in order to have a mean of exactly 80? So when we look at these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, we're trying to find a fifth test score that would give us a mean of 80. So when we say mean, hopefully you guys remember that mean is the average. And how do you find the average of a set of data? You add up all the values. So point 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then divide by the total number of values that you have here. So for this, it gives us four values: the 62, the 75, the 76, and the 90. And we're trying to add a fifth value, and we're trying to get an average of 80. Well, what would I do to these five numbers to get the average of 80? Again, to find the average, you would divide all of this total sum, by the total number of values you have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers here. So we would say all of this added together, divided by 5, should equal 80. Now, to solve this algebraically, instead of using this question mark, remember this year we showed you guys that you can use the letter X to represent some unknown value. And when we try to solve equations, you're trying to isolate and get X by itself. So let's go through and do that. If I were to draw my line here, just so I can see the left and right side, on the left, I see all of this being added together, then divided by 5 equals 80. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify this top portion right here. So let's bring these four numbers together and let's just add. So let's pull up Desmos. We have 62, 75, 76, 90, and that equals 303. So we're going to rewrite this as 303 plus x divided by 5 equals 80. All right, so let's focus on that now. If this is my focus, let's slide it over a little bit. If that's my focus now, we're trying to get x by itself. Right now, what is on the same side as x? I'll see that number 5, and I see the number 303. Before we can get to this 303, we have to get rid of 5. What's happening between this and 5 right now? It's being divided. So to get rid of that 5, we're going to do the inverse operation, and we're going to multiply that by 5. And because this is an equation, we're going to keep it balanced, do it on both sides. On the left side, when you multiply by 5, we like to say that the 5's cancel out, and we are left with 303 plus x equals the 80 times the 5. Well, 80 times 5 equals 400. And now this is a lot simpler to see. 303 plus x equals 400. So to get x by itself, we need to subtract 303 from both sides. On the left side, 303 take away 303 cancels out. You're just left with the x there. And then on the right side, 400 minus 303 equals 97. So x equals 97. What does x represent in the context of the situation? It represents that fifth score that we'd have to put here in order for my average to get 80. So the answer choice is D. Now, let's say that you aren't really comfortable going through and doing equations like that. You could just take this entire thing that we started with and do a guess and check method to see which one would give you 80 as a solution. So let's go back to Desmos, and we're going to write this part into our calculator, and we're just going to exchange X for these numbers over here and see which one gives us 80. So going back to Desmos, we had all of this plus X divided by 5. So let me just copy this, and we're going to put all of this in the top part of a division statement. So let's get this going. Let's paste that top part. And I'm going to say plus X here just so you can see what's happening. And for X, let's plug in answer choice A and see if it gives us 80. So if I put 80 here, the average is 76.6. So that didn't work. Let's put in 100. Let's see what happens. The average is 80.6. That's a little bit too much. All right, let's put in 93. That's 79.2. It's close, but it's not 80. And last but not least, let's put in 97. That gives us exactly 80. So if you didn't feel comfortable setting up the equation like we did here and then solving, then just plug in what you can and use Desmos.